y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Welcome back with me, Dr. Monica Nicole, the home of the Deep Thinkers, honey. Okay, this is where we go deep, 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 deep into those conversations that are not just surface level, which is most things in life. Okay, you'll be surprised. Now, if you are not already a deep thinker, only thing you have to do is go ahead and get subscribed, watch a few videos, and join in the Discord and the comments. And you win, baby. Okay, you just got to have that open mind up. So, in this conversation today, what I wanted to tap into is because, as many of you all know, I am a full time nomad now. So last year, I made the decision to not renew my lease. I decided to get rid of literally like 90% of everything that I owned. I gave it away or threw it out, depending on what it was. And then I put like the important things into storage. And I decided that I was going to travel the world full time. This was something that I had been wanting to do since I was a little girl. I would always be like reading the different stories and the books and stuff. And I had this imagination that just saw me just like traveling to all the places that I was reading about. And that's what got me into writing, actually. And so, with that, I've always still been a writer. I published my first book in 2018. It was, yeah, 2018. And so since then, it's been up. Okay. But that's the way that I always would experience the world. And I realized every time I traveled, I absolutely loved it. So before I made the decision to travel full time, I had visited 13 countries already. And I was just like, I want more of this, I want more of this. And I want to get into this video because a lot of people ask me, well, how are you able to do that? How are you able to do that? And it's not as cookie cutter or simple as many would think that it is. Okay. And so, because many will be the first thing, be like, oh, well, how did you get a job? That's the first thing people always ask me. How did you get a job? How did you get a job? How did you get a job? And that in itself shows a mindset difference. So when we look at what it takes to be able to travel the world full time. So when I say full time, I don't have a home base. I don't have a home that I can just travel back to in the United States and be like, this is my home. Like I literally got rid of it all. So similar to the van lifers and the campers and things of that nature, I'm just like that, except I'm a nomad around the world. And with that, it takes a major mindset shift in various spaces. It takes a mindset shift in yourself. It takes a mindset shift in how you look at the world. It takes a mindset shift on how you look at creation. It's a mindset shift on how you look at different cultures. Like there's so many different pieces that go into it. So I wanted to sit and talk about the major ones in this conversation for those of you all who may be interested in traveling full time. So, one of the big reasons why I wanted to get back into traveling full time is because I wanted to get even deeper back into my writing. I've always been a blogger. I started my blog before I actually wrote my first book. And I stopped doing my blog as my business started expanding in other areas. And I've been craving that feeling of getting a blog back. So I started my travel blog, mycheckbaggage.com. Definitely go and check it out, subscribe. And then I created a subsequent Substack as well. And the Substack is what helps with like the mindset, the actions, things of that nature that created the lifestyle that I'm able to live now. So they go in together, right? Well, when I made the decision that I was ready to move and live full time, I made that decision a few years before I actually did it. That decision was made a few years before I actually did it because I was like, I don't want to have to depend on like a job in some sense. So I need to create an income. So I had to change my mindset of other people giving me things or me having needing someone else to do something. I had to become very independent. And in that independence, it came with me starting my own business. Now, are there people who live around the world and they work remotely for jobs? Yes, but a lot of jobs have been cutting that out once they started picking up on that people were doing that. And so it's one of those to where I knew that I wanted to have that freedom. So I had to shift the mindset from being an employee to a business owner. And the mindset of a business owner is very different from the mindset of an employee. Okay. The mindset of an employee is the sense of very the transactional of I know I do this, I know I receive this back. The mindset of an entrepreneur or a business owner, you have to learn how to become more flexible. You have to learn how to know that everything is not always the same every day. It's up here, it's down here. It changes your mindset on how you view the world. Because, in all honesty, if I did not have a flexible mindset to me or energy to me, I wouldn't even be that made it this far already. If y'all only knew, I had shared with my members and things of that nature. And if you want the back end conversations of what goes on with my traveling and things of that nature, definitely join my Substack membership. And I will be starting a membership over here on YouTube as well, really soon. So be on the lookout for that. But when I look at the things that have happened so far, a lot of people would like be freaking out. So, for example, I head to my next country in a couple days and I don't have housing yet. I'm like, I'll figure it out the day before I get there. It'll happen because sometimes you're not able to plan ahead as much as you want. And something in my spirit had told me not to book it, right? And then we had the winter storm happen, which then delayed me and my travels. And so, with it delaying me in my travels, if I would have booked my housing and all of that already and I didn't have insurance, I would have been out on money. So, I have to be open to being flexible with things happening, taking it one step at a time, one step at a time. It's like a sense of surrendering to the universe in a lot of ways because when you're going to new places, there's new rules, there's new cultural way of doing things. Most times it's different languages. So you have to have patience. You have to be flexible of knowing that everyone doesn't operate the same way that you were raised up to operate in. And that was a really big one, especially when it comes to like time or being out, things of that nature. Like at restaurants, you go out and sit down in a restaurant, baby, they don't bother you too much. Like they're expecting you to be there for at least an hour, like just to relax. And in a lot of ways, it helps your food digest. It helps you just to not be in such a rush. And that was something that I had to shift from because in the United States, they're trained to have you like a cycle in those relationships. I mean, not relationships, but those restaurants. You know, that's why they're always coming in to check on you. Then they're bringing the bill before you even ask for it, things of that nature. Since I've been in Central and South America, I haven't been asking for my bill. Like, well, they don't rush to bring me my bill. Sorry, I have to ask them for it. And I love how like the changes, like I had to be flexible with how they move, their timing, what happens there because like I said, the cultures are different. So when it comes to traveling full time, the reason why I feel like I have a lot of like common sense when it comes to traveling because you hear people saying, "Oh, it's dangerous," or "Is this or is that." Well, a lot of times people don't be having respect for the cultures and the spaces that they're in. So they go to those different countries and those different spaces expecting it to be exactly like it is back home versus realizing I'm a student of this space. I'm a student of this country. So moving abroad, being a digital nomad, full time, all of that, the first thing you need to worry about is learning how to be more flexible, more patient, more observant, and more inquisitive. Because you're going to have to understand that once you leave out of your comfort space of your home country, city, whatever, wherever you're moving, you are now a student in this new space. And I use that energy to help me even with my writing and my creations as being a student. As you all know, I'm a human design reflector as well. So it allows me to be able to tap into those different centers that I want to tap into to be able to share that energy back out into the community and the spaces where I'm at. And so you have to first be open to different, you have to have flexibility, you have to be patient. Whether you decide to be an entrepreneur or not, I recommend either having a bunch of money saved up or being an entrepreneur. You could work for a company as well, but like I said, it's been a lot going on with companies and stuff, and them, oh, we need you to come in for a meeting tomorrow. Like, they've been popping up with that type of stuff. But then also you do have the opportunity to go to different countries and to teach English or to teach a certain language that they're looking to learn, and you'll get, free room and board. So there are other aspects that you could do it, but I'm telling you now, there's culture shocks that come with that. And so with those culture shocks, you have to be open-minded. You have to be patient and to understand. You need to be inquisitive to ask questions. Ask the questions that matter. So those are the first things that you have to do to prepare yourself for living abroad and traveling abroad. And a lot of people don't talk about these things because the main things we hear is, oh, it's so cheap over here, or, and I mean, yes, that's very true. Like, the dollar still extends very far in different places right now. And so with that, that is very much so a truth that we can live by, well, live with right now. You get what I'm saying? But it's much more than that, because we have to understand that there is still a culture and a life there that's happening where they may not have that same exchange rate. So just understanding how your energy can be translated in particular spaces where you're at. You have to be cognizant of your surroundings, okay? You got to have a level of street smarts. And when I say street smarts, I'm not talking about common sense now, okay? Because common sense is one of those where it's just a basic level of, and I'm not talking about the common sense of how to survive in the hood. I'm talking about this common sense of being able to survive wherever you're at, of asking the right questions, of looking up the right things, all that jazz. But when we talk about street smarts, that's more of like the survival aspects. That's the sense of, being a little bit more incognito as you're seeing what's going on and scoping the scene and things of that nature, not making yourself a target. And many people go places and they make themselves a target. So you want to identify and find ways, how can you not look like, because in a lot of ways, if you move to these places, I know we, romanticize and then call it expats. Um, but it's like, unless it's like you take on gypsy or nomad, but it's an immigrant too. You're basically immigrants into the different countries as well. So having that mindset and understanding of it, you know what I'm saying? And understanding how political things change as well. Because, for example, just last year, Brazil started requiring e visas for residents of the United States, Canada, and Australia. And the reason for that is because they like, y'all make us do one. So we about to make y'all do one. We about to make money from y'all people too. So we do have to understand the different rules and visas and all that jazz, and that's why you see many people go and they get their residency in another country, so they become a citizen of that country so that they can get a passport for that country as well. And some people choose like which passports to travel off of, so they have more, opening up, but that's a whole nother conversation. I haven't done that yet, so I can't speak on it just quite right now yet. um I just made the decision that I want to get to 100 countries before the age of 50. So I'm now going to be traveling very often. And so finances are important, yes, but it's also a mindset of give and take that you have to have as well when it comes to traveling full time. You're going to be in new spaces. You're going to be asking for help. So what are you doing to give back as well? You get what I'm saying? Um Learning the sense of reciprocity is very big and it's very important. And so I'm going to leave this video off here. Like I said, I wasn't going to get into like the big one, which is, the money and things of that nature, or starting the business and things of that. Y'all can leave comments down below to let me know if you're interested in that part. But just understanding that the first thing, very much so, is the mindset of how you're approaching the shift, how you're approaching this move, how you're approaching this new space that you're going into, because that matters more than anything else, because you're not going to be able to make it nor survive if you don't become more flexible and patient and observant and inquisitive in your nature. So I thank you all for tuning into this video. If you haven't already, get subscribed. Check out some of my other videos here on the channel. And listen, I need y'all to understand, as you'll see, the longer you're on this channel, sometimes it really is that deep. I love y'all. Bye.